Hey Stampers, it's the Pampered Stamper. I'm back again. My video just conked out because I didn't have enough room left on my camera. I had to delete a bunch of videos, so that was very unprofessional of me, and I apologize. So now we're going to finish putting this card together, and I have this navy piece, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we're going to put that on the white card base. And just a reminder that today is May the 23rd or 4th, and the new catalog will go June 3rd. It will go live, and Snail is retiring. So if you want Snail refills, now would be the time to get them. Okay, so that's going here, and then this is just going kind of in the middle. And that's it. Just a simple, striking card with a great pattern to it. I love it, and I love the contrast of the navy, the white, and the granny apple green. Okay, so now we're going to do a card that has the same idea again with the 4 corners, but this is a much smaller square of white. So the square on this one is 3 inches square. Okay, and the white piece I've already run through the folder, the embossing folder. This is the Country Floral embossing folder. Okay, and this piece of white is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, so we're going to take our little square piece right here, and we're going to put the stamp set underneath, tight in the corner, and let's see if we can get it perfect this time. So I'm lining up the edge of the stamp with the edge of the paper. There we go. Nice firm press. What I forgot to say in the first video is that the reason you don't put both magnets together is because they're very strong rare earth magnets. And if you use them at the same time, they could attract each other and they will clash, and then they'll break into many, many shards. So you don't want that happening. So 1 magnet is enough. You do not need 2. There is no guarantee. Stampin' Up! Does not guarantee them. They've warned you to use 1 at a time. If they break, you'll just have a few more magnets to use, but they won't replace them. Okay, see how that just overlaps beautifully? I got the placement pretty well bang on. I'm pretty happy with that. So when we do the 4 corners, so you notice I'm just giving it a 1/4 inch turn every time. And that makes an interlocking pattern. And when I first came up with this class, I played with different sizes of squares to see how it would look. And that's how the different cards were born. I love it. It's just a really neat way to stamp. So the Stamparatus is great for repetitive stamping to make a pattern. So look how perfect. You've got a perfect square. It's just lovely. So now I had an extra piece of white. I don't know if I can find it. A strip of white to make that little circle. But maybe we will. Yeah, I really want. Oh yeah, here it is. Good. Okay. So I'm going to use just a scrap of white. And we're going to wipe off this stamp because I'm going to move it and I don't want to get inky fingers. And actually, no, I don't need this one at all. Don't know what I'm talking about. We're going to use a different stamp. We're going to use this one, and it's going to get laid right at the end of my little strip of paper. There we go. And that is going to be stamped in, I have to get this straight, in green. So we're going to stamp that one in granny apple green. And then there's another stamp that fits right in there. I just love the intricacy of this stamp set. I wish it had been offered in the big catalog. So look how pretty that is. Just a lovely detail. And now we're going to take another stamp, this one, and it is going to interlock. Let's just see. I'm not sure. I'm just playing around with it. You have to see. Oh yeah, this is the right way to do it. So those little dots are going inside the pattern. So you just kind of play around. It's like playing with a kaleidoscope when you turn it and all of a sudden it clicks into place and the pieces are the way they should be. So, oh, there's a little string on here. We don't want that. Okay. So, oh, we have to take that one off. And there we go. So we move our paper into the corner, the magnet. Now we've got our navy. We're going to ink it up in navy. And you're going to see how really nice it is that this navy nestles right into that green design. Look how pretty that is. It's like China. It's just so nice. All I need to do is punch that out with a circle, which I didn't think of. So I'm just going to put this aside for a minute. And we're going to wipe off our stamp. And then we're going to stamp our saying. And the saying I'm going to take from Artfully Aware. This is a beautiful stamp set designed by Janet Wakeland for her mom, who has Alzheimer's. But you could use the ribbon for anything, okay? So I'm going to use the saying, together we make a difference, because in this COVID situation, that is a real, it's the truth. So I'm going to just take this strip. I'll have to trim it down later. And I'm just going to lay down. Oh, guess what I forgot to do? This is a rubber stamp, so we don't need this thicker mat. We'll move that aside. And I'll just lay this on there. And you know what? Because of that, my strip is so narrow, I'm going to do it so that it lines up with this dark line on the grid paper. There. And we have to make sure it's straight. There we go. Okay. So you don't have to put your paper right at the bottom. You can put it so that you use your grid lines as a guide. I think we'll do that with another one of our cards as well. So there we go. Perfect. All right, let's wipe that off. And then we'll make our card. Let's see. Move that, put the Stamparatus away for a minute. So we have this piece, and this is the card. I'll show you the card again. So we first need to put the ribbon around the edges. So what I do is I flip my piece of paper, I add adhesive to the back along both edges, and then I'm just going to lay this down about this far and tuck that around so that it sticks to my adhesive. There we go. Now it can go on the card. So the card is again 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'll just put the rest of the adhesive on here and go over the ribbon. And maybe an extra bit in the middle. And then line up your corners. And as long as that margin looks pretty good, the rest can go down. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to pop it up with dimensionals and straddle the ribbon. Because if you do it flat over the ribbon will cause a bump, and you don't want a bump. Okay. You can tell when you go into a stamper's home, there's inevitably at least one dimensional backing on the floor or in some funny place. Yeah. So there we go. Center it. I centered it so that these edges were all the same. Okay. And then this is going to go like so. And I'm just going to kind of make a little divot there, and then I'll use my trimmer. It's off camera, although I suppose I can put it on camera. And we'll just put that in here. And then I know that my card was 3 7/8. So I go to 3 7/8. There we go. And now this piece can go on there. Oopsie. A little bit of snail, and then I don't, the little gems that I put on there, they are no longer current, so I don't know where I got them from, so I'm going to leave it plain for now, but you could add a pearl or whatever, see? And then you just have to pretend that I did this with a circle, and then this is what we get. So that's that one. Isn't that pretty? Okay, we will move right along. The next one we're going to do is this green one. So we've got a bigger white square now, so you get a more open center so that we can put that pretty image in there. This square is 4 inches by 4 inches, so the card is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so here we go. And so this one you'll understand is pretty simple because we did the same pattern before. So here we go. I feel like I might have 2 squares of white, but I don't think so. No, I don't. Okay, just make it nice and tight in the corner. And I've got my dimensionals, wanted to be part of the show. Tap, tap, tap. And nice firm press. Oh, forgot to press this part. Oh, guess what? Guess what I forgot? You see how it's not stamping properly? I forgot that I'm using photopolymer. So that's a good lesson. I need the black thing in there. So here we go. I'll do it again. I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? It's not working. So that's nice. Like the Stamparatus will tell you when you've done something wrong. If you keep it in and you're using a rubber, oh, look at that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip it. There. Okay. If you're using a rubber mounted stamp, then you'll find that it feels a little bulky. There. That's pretty. Flip it. Just a quarter turn. And this one, it's going to have a tiny white edge, but that's okay because the same little white edge is on all of them. So it's a similar pattern. Oh, and you know what? I messed up. Look, I purposely left an edge here, a white edge. So you know what? Well, we'll finish this one. We're going to leave it just the way it is, and you can see what the difference is. And it just goes to show you that you can do all kinds of different things with your stamp. And maybe this will look better. This will give us a little bit more space in the middle for our image. So that's nice too. There we go. I'm going to leave it just like that. So now we're going to take that off. And maybe I'll even use a different image in the inside from that other stamp set. If I can find it. Oh yeah, here we go. So yeah, I think I'll use a different one. Does this one fit? Yeah, see, this one fits now. So this reminds me of COVID. Okay, so now we're using a rubber mounted stamp. So we're taking this black piece out again. And magnet. And you lay this exactly where you want it to go. And actually, if I want it to go there, I want it to be as far away from the hinge as possible. So I'll turn it. And that looks about right. And I stamp that in navy. And then I'm going to stamp my saying in Granny Apple Green. Here we go. That looks nice. I'll give it one more layer of ink. You'll see how nice it is to do that. Yeah, that looks great. So now we're going to turn it this way because my saying is going to go there. And I think what we'll say this time is, if it fits, we'll say together we make a difference. So let me see. Oh, I think I already used that, didn't I? On the other card. Together we make a difference. Yeah. The struggle is real is also nice. Okay. I think that's what we'll do. There. And actually, I'm going to do 2. So I'm going to lay that on. These are the stickers on these rubber stamps are amazing. And I'm going to show you how to make sure that it's straight. So I'm going to move this totally out of the way. I'm going to stamp it and see how it looks. And it looks like it's going downhill a little bit. I don't like that. You can also see it, actually, you can also see it, I'm going to give this a wipe. Sorry about the shake. I can clean my grid a little bit. If you hold your stamp to the light a little bit, let me just wipe this all off, then there is a grid on there, but I find it hard to see, and it might be my age. I'll move this away, and then I can just peel that off and then line it up this way on the grid lines. That looks pretty good to me. You have to be careful when you use a wipe to wipe this off because it can stay a little bit damp. So that's a little bit dangerous. All right, here we go. And now we'll stamp it with Granny Apple Green. That looks great. So we'll wipe that off and we'll put the other saying as well. It's always tricky when you use two sayings because there's not much room for error to have it perfectly straight. So I will look on my grid to see if it's good or not. Because sometimes the sticker is not on straight. So I am looking. Sorry, you guys are really a part of the process. It looks good. It looks good. Now we're going to find out if it really is or not. And I could put the grid paper on and really double check, but I did a good job. It's great. So here's this card, and it's just going to go on the green. And then you can use the Stamparatus for the hearts, but I'm going to grab a block and just use a block. Because sometimes for those little ones, if you have to change it twice, then I run out of patience a little bit. So here we go. We've got the heart, and we're just going to stamp it in there. You have to decide for yourself when it's worth using the Stamparatus and when it's just good enough to eyeball it. There. And because I'm doing 4 cards, I'm running out of patience. You know, you guys might not know it, but deep down, I'm really not a patient person. That's why I was so upset when my video just stopped. I was like, oh no. Okay. There we go. How cute is that? So that's the difference between the stamp going right to the edge and leaving a white edge all around. That looks really nice. I do like the white edge, but I like this one too. But it's a completely different image when they don't overlap. Like, just really nice. It just gives you another alternative. So now we're going to do the last card, which is this one. And basically all we're doing is that we're repeating that. This is called hinge stamping. So it is a totally different technique. So let's get our Stamparatus back. I'm going to have to think. I didn't practice this. I didn't do a dry run. And it's been a long time since I've designed these cards. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, we're going to put this mat in here and the magnet. And we're going to use a piece that is 3 7/8 by, I'm going to put it at the top over here, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. But because it has to go off the edge a little bit, I'm going to start away from the edge. So we're going to start with this one here in green, okay? So that's going to go about here. And, okay, there we go. Down we go. And let's see what happens. See? Hopefully it won't do that again, because that's the thing about using a line rather than the bottom, because the line is thicker than you think. So I'm just right above the black line. I can see the black line. So this is going to be Granny Apple Green. Okay, so here we go. We're doing one. And then we're lifting the hinge and we're going up. Yeah. So I moved 2, okay? So I have 2 spaces, and then I'm going again. I'm wondering, though, Okay, this is going to be a mystery. I'm going to see if I just move one and what happens. Oh, that interlocks. I don't think that's right either. I'm so curious. Oh, there's another piece in between. Okay, so we're going to do two. Okay. See, you get to play along with me. Let's see what happens. There. And I think I was maybe supposed to do three, but this one's going to be two, and we'll see what happens. So I keep moving it two, and we'll do one more. And this pattern might be different than the one that I have on my card. There we go. And now I'm going to take this off completely, and we're going to use another plate. So now we're going to put the blue one in there. And let's see. I think that's good. I'm going to do the flipperoo and see if that works. No, it was supposed to be this way. Okay. You want to eyeball it and make sure all the pieces are where they need to be. Okay. And blue. We're going to see how this goes, people. And you know what else? Okay, we have to straighten it out a little bit. And then we move two. There. And it's an interesting thing. My design is not perfect. I see that now. Because you know what? I see it exactly. It was the dots were supposed to go in here, and I have them going a different way. Well, that just goes to show you. We're going to use the other side. We'll just do another one. But it works. It just gives you a different image again. So I move two, two, and two, and two. Okay. But isn't it cute the way you can repeat a pattern just by lifting up the hinge? So that's hinge stamping. There we go. So that was kind of cool. But it's not what I had exactly, but we'll do something a bit different. Now we're going to take this little guy in between here, and we'll start at the bottom over here and do it like this. And actually the spacing is perfect. And maybe instead of, on my other card I did it in green, but on this one I'm going to do navy, just because we want to switch it up. Okay. So I guess I'm just showing you with this stamping that you really can't mess it up completely. Like you can make a mistake and it's still okay. Okay, I just moved it back to the line. Hopefully that's good. There we go. And then we're going to move it to there. There, isn't that cute? And then, now I should have moved that over a little bit maybe, but we're going to play around some more. I'm going to wipe this off. We're going to use the same pattern, but we're going to fit it in those two spots right there. Okay, so basically you're creating a geometric design. So I'm going to, let me think, this one went that way, and it's going to go right in like that. There we go. And take the hinge and go right to the bottom again. And we'll pick that up. Now it's going to come totally loose. So we're going to move our magnet. We're moving our paper just so that we can see the black line. A little bit down. And we're going to do this in green. There we go. And then two, we're going to move it two. Perfect. And it's going to go right in that space. And what we're doing is we're creating a tile mosaic. So now I'm going to do the navy one. And I could take this whole plate off and use the other one, but I don't feel like it. So now we go again, and I'm going to try to do the same thing I did last time, although yeah, I'm talking to myself. Okay. I have to purposely do it the wrong way again, like I did it the last time was also the wrong way. Now it moved a little bit. I need to see my black line. There we go. Okay, and now this one's navy. So, you know, I would just encourage you to play with this and see what you come up with. See, and now we move it 2 notches, and we're going to do another one. And then, there we go. Isn't that cute? So there we have our design. And now, I'm going to wipe this off. And you could definitely just put a piece of grid paper in there and play around before you commit to your design. This is not perfectly cut. There we go. Now we're going to put our words on. Okay. Now let's see. You are pretty much the best ever. And now there is more room for the words. So I'm pretty happy about that because with my other card, it was a little bit tight. We'll put the hinge back properly, lay it down, and it's stuck completely. Peel it off, tight in the corner, and we're going to use navy for our words. And there we go. I love it. I'm going to do it once more so that I get that blue really nice and dark. Oh my goodness, that's so nice. Okay, now we'll put this on the card and then we'll have a look and see which one we like better. So we'll put some snail on the back. So I hope you enjoyed that, the hinge stamping and the repeated stamping with the Stamparatus. It was pretty easy, wasn't it? There we go. A very clean card. I actually like it a lot. So here's the one we just did now, and then here's my original. And I added some extra pieces, but I kind of like it clean. And the way I started this one over a little bit, I have more room for my words. This one looks a little bit more crowded. This one looks a little more clean and simple. I did get one little smudge on there, but that's not so bad. So those are the cards. And this one. And this one. And this one here. So I'm asking this time, I never really do this, and I wasn't sure how to market it, but I'm asking if you really love this video and if you learned something from it, I would love it if you would send me a $5 donation. The people who bought the class got this video included with their class, and I was planning on just doing this video as a paid video, but I'm just going to put it out there. And if you feel it was worth the time of watching it and you learned something, then you can send $5 to jackiebolcha@gmail.com, and that would make my day. This COVID thing is really stopping us from doing online class or doing in-person classes, so we need to make money in a different way. And I thought $5 is a reasonable amount. So thank you in advance. I hope you enjoyed this. And remember, if you want this stamp set, if you live in Canada, you can order it through me. This stamp set is retiring and will no longer be available after June the 2nd. Okay, June 2nd is the last day or while supplies last. Thank you so much and have a super day. Bye.